Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 4 of my Warm Welcome Workshop series, where we use the Warm Welcome Bundle by Stampin' Up. This is a really fun series because we're able to create all occasion cards with it. And today I just want to go over some shaker cards. We'll be doing something similar to this one. And you can put in anything you want. You can put in little sequins, little hearts, and fun things behind this little door. So I have it as a welcome card. Let me just kind of flick this around so you can see. It says, open house, open heart, open mind. And I've been telling you for a while I want to use this little kitty. So I put the little kitty in there. I think I put a little too many sequins in that one, kind of covering up the kitty. So maybe we won't put as many sequins in there. But you can cut a hole from the door, or you could do something like this. And I used a stitched rectangle. Or actually, it was pretty sure it was the stylish shaped dies to put that extra stitching around there. But you can just do it with your rectangle that came in your Warm Welcome bundle. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need some Tea Boutique Designer Series paper and this little door. And we'll go ahead and stamp and have some fun today. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. And I'm glad to be back with you continuing this series, which will continue into January a bit because I want to do some... I'm just going to move these because these were holding my card up. Stick those on there. I was doing some... I'm changing things up the way I do my workshop series a little bit. Like you have until the first week of the month now to order those kits for my workshops. And so anyway, I'm going to plan on doing some like New Year's cards with this because I thought this is so fun. We can welcome in the new year, 2023, with the dies that... And let me just show you what I mean. There's these little dies that cut out the numbers. See all these really cool numbers? And I'm going to show you how I use these numbers a little bit later for my birthday cards. But you can cut out, and I'm just cutting out a bunch of extra numbers and using the stickers. And so it'll be really fun to make some New Year's cards. So I think that's how I'll end the series. A couple New Year's cards, not with shakers, just with the number. And that will be fun. What I'm looking for right now is the stamp. I put everything away to make room for my picture. So the stamp, I've been keeping it mounted. And at the end of the series, we'll remount it, but I'll be keeping it mounted because it actually fits perfectly on this stamping block. If you have a Stamparatus, it actually would work really well for this kind of stamp as well. So what you do is you just stamp your door like this with your, because it's so big, you have to use the Memento Black ink upside down on the door. Then just hold it for a few seconds. Kind of pushing in the middle of your stamping block. Give it a rub. And if it doesn't work, you try again. You flip over your paper. I'm just using basic white cardstock by Stampin' Up. Okay, it came out really nice. So what we want to do is take this piece. It needs to be a piece that's going to fit behind this layer of Designer Series paper. So let's go ahead and cut that down. And at the same time, we can cut down a piece of Designer Series paper. You will see what I mean in a second. So bottom line is, let's just cut this side first. It's going to be hiding behind there. So let's say it needs to be 4 inches wide, about, give or take. So 4 inches wide. It's actually going to be a little bit less. Let's make it a little bit less than 4 inches wide. Because the piece of this paper is 4 inches wide, but we want this to be a little bit smaller than that because it's going to be hiding behind there. So let's go ahead and do this. By 5, and it would normally be like 5 1/4, but I'm just going to say by around 5. Okay, see, I'm even going to make it just a smidgen smaller. So just make this a little smaller than the layer of paper that it's going to be behind. So let's take now, and you can use any of the paper. So if you want to start on your New Year's cards, then get the Celebrate Everything that came in your kit. And by the way, in my next kit, which is going to be based on By the Bay, and the new catalog, this paper is going to be in there. I'm including it. So we're going to be making the New Year's cards out of this. So you can even make them next month as well. All right, I'm going to use, though, the Tea Boutique. I'm opening up a new pack. And I don't want to use the same ones I just did, so we'll pick out a different one. Let's see. You want something with small patterns. So here's the Tea Boutique paper. This came in your kit. I always give you a lot of selection. Okay, that one is cute. That one I used for the one. Okay, here's this one might work. Not that one, this little one with the flowers. This has small patterns. Actually, no, you know what would look really nice is this one, because it would look cool behind the door as well. I'm just looking, see, that's the one I used before. That one might be okay with the little letters behind it. Okay, what do you think? We're going to say 1, 2, or 3. Okay, we're going to say this is 1. This is going to be 1. I'm going to call it the lattice work. 2 would be the male. See the sun coming in my window. And 3 would be the one I did earlier. So do you want to use paper 1, 2, or 3? So just vote in the comments. I see a few of you here. Hello, Betty. Hello, Ron. Melody. Mary from Casper, Wyoming. Cindy Taylor from Tennessee. Okay, do you want paper 1, paper 2, or paper 3? This is all Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. And there's a little delay on the comments. All right, here comes Kathy out of the woodwork with her vote for number 3, and Marcia for number 2. And we have a number 1. Okay, who's the tiebreaker? Who's the tiebreaker? What's the next number? 2. Okay, it's going to be 2. What was 2? We're going to use number 2. All right, so we're going to use number 2. We had 4 votes, and this was number. So what we want to do for this one is we're going to go 4. We're going to do 4 inches by 5 1/4, like that, right? And so you want to take this piece, okay, and you want to put this like that on top of this piece. Hope you're following along, and we need to cut out the door. Not the inside of the door, but the door, this piece of the door. So in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, like this, you're cutting the door. You're cutting it through both layers. All right, so the base plate for the sandwich is plate number 1. That's the base plate. And then we need the thin die adapter, which is this plate. Kind of cold in my house right now, so I'm all bundled up. Plate, even though there's sunshine, okay. Plate number 2 is the thin die adapter. Plate number 3 is, this is one of the plate number 3s you need to cut, and then you're going to put down the die. We're going to put down the die. We're going to put down the little thing over top of it. And then you want to put down a piece of your wall-safe tape. This is wall-safe tape. It's like Post-it tape or washi tape or something, right? Not something that's going to mess up your paper. All righty. I'm sorry. No, you know what? We don't actually need to, sorry. We don't actually need to cut through this one too. We will need to cut through this in a minute, just the door, but we're just going to put it like that. We're not actually cutting through this one yet. We're going to just cut the door through that one. Okay, so something like that. Move that up there. Because we can go ahead and just cut the door at the same time. I actually don't really even need to tape it. Should be okay like that. Now this one, we just need to cut the door through. Like, we're not actually cutting the whole, we're not actually cutting that, just the door. So I almost thought I had to cut through both layers. I've done a lot of experimentation. Let me look at the card again. See what happens? I got the after New Year's mushy brain. Yeah, right. We don't need to cut out the door because the door is actually behind there. You can't see it, but the door's behind there. See? Put my little finger under there. The door's hiding behind the paper. So we do need to put this little door. Our shaker card is going to be this little door. So we need to cut a hole in the door. But the paper itself, we don't need to. The paper's going to be hiding. All right, so got that little door. And then we need the little window sheet, to put for the shakers. All right, so that's it. And we put the little lid on there. And we cut out both parts we need. And we're going to just kind of roll it through. All right, so there we go. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Oops, it's already kind of crooked. I can see it. Before, if I can salvage it, I don't know. Hopefully I can salvage that. If you see what I did with a piece of paper to salvage it, it's just like I don't want to have to run it through again and stamp it again. But if I have to, we have to. It's only paper. All right, so good. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, so now, hopefully this makes sense to you. We will, so now we don't really need to die cut anymore. Like, we do need some shapes, but we don't. I should already have them for you in my bucket of crafty goodness. Meaning, these little shapes. You're going to need like little doodads. to put welcome or it's your day or look yay. You're going to need little things to put stuff on. I already have a bunch of them cut, so I'm okay with that. So now we're going to take this piece, and I say it would be just, we're going to put the little window sheet behind here after we color it a little. So we're going to put, so it's going to be like that. Pretty cool, right? I hope it's shaping up. So that's going to be hiding behind there. We'll put the window sheet behind the door. Then we'll build up the card with some foam adhesives. So let's take your blending brushes, and because I'm using, let's just show you all the cards again. We'll also let you pick what we're going to put on our card too. Maybe what kind of sentiment we'll pick. So kind of think about that, what we're going to write on our card. That'll be your next vote, because every card will be different. So what I want to do is get the blending brushes and just sort of blend, not that color. Let's see. We're going to use Parakeet Party, because I'm using this designer series paper, Tea Boutique. I'm going to use the colors that go with Tea Boutique. And the colors that go with Tea Boutique happen to be the colors from the ink colors, this year's ink colors. Okay, so need some little stamping blocks. So you kind of go like that. You put some ink on the stamping block. Put a little bit of Parakeet Party on there. Right, tap, tap, tap. And I'm just going to kind of blend the door a little bit like that. Okay, tap, tap, tap onto there. I usually have a big mat to craft on, but I just cleaned up my table here. So everything is gone, and I'm going to start anew. I'm trying to get rid of my Christmas stuff and try to move into the new year. So I'm just kind of blending the door. We've been blending these doors before. It's going to make it sort of half Parakeet Party, or like a little ombre effect there. And then we'll do a little bit of crushed curry. It's making the door light. So then crushed curry, I just wanted to make something that would go cool behind there. So crushed curry. And we'll put a little bit of ink on the ink pad like that, just a little bit. And we'll blend that through. Just looking for something here. It's not really my crushed curry blend, but we'll go with it. A little bit of yellow going on. Okay, cool. Cool. Looks good. So we've colored our door. Now that we've colored our door, we can put the window behind the door. So you're going to get a piece of window sheet, and that came in your kit. Those of you that purchased the kit, you get lots of extra goodies, and it was in your bag. This bag here, it says window sheet. So take out your window sheet. Something you had tissue paper, and it looks like a piece like this. But I think I should already have a piece cut. We sell these for $5. You get two 12 by 12 window sheets, so 8 times this amount, right? That's one 6 by 6 piece. But we sell them in a giant pack, and you get like 2 giant sheets. So I just need a piece of window sheet like this, right? And just go like, so you're going to flip this around. I have a piece of hair stuck on mine. It's getting rid of that. Now you're going to just put some adhesive on here, on this white part like this, and you put the window behind it, right? Like so. Okay. There. So that's how you're going to put the window sheet on there. Now we can attach this piece to the piece that we're covering in front of it. So that's kind of the look I was going for. I just did some experimenting, and I thought it would be cool to have just this part be the shaker, but you could still see the whole door. So that's where I was going with that. So I hope you see what I did. I made a hole just through this part, like just through the DSP with the little letters on it, which is somewhere here. Where's Kathy when I need her? Telling me where my things are. Okay, here we go. There we go. See, it's going to go like that. So it's just cool. You have this like really cool little covering over. You're going to hide all that stuff. And you still got your window. So just put some adhesive there. I mean, you can use whatever you want. I mean, you can use any of this cool paper would work. But I'm just trying different papers. I'm wondering if I couldn't even color this paper a little. Might be neat if it's not so white. But that's okay. We're okay. We've already done it with other colors. You get to see different patterns, you know, so you get to try it different ways. So now I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive around the edges. All right, and we'll cover this up. Oops, I'm stuck on you. Okay, we're gonna put that there. And now we need a piece of white now to do our stamping onto. That's going to be the background layer. This one's pretty strong. This is our foreground layer. You need your foam adhesive strips. Okay, good, good, good. It went out a little bit crooked. There. Good enough though. We are happy with it. Let's just flip this over so we don't have any ink. Now we want to take a piece of basic white again, but you want to make it not quite so big. I mean, it's kind of be almost the size, but in my opinion, if it's a little smaller, it's a little better. So like my background's 4, but I'm going to go with like an 1/8 inch less than 4. So like if my layer, like this layer is 4 by 5 1/4, I'm just going with an 1/8 inch smaller because it helps me hide the paper later. So instead of like 5 1/4, it's like 5 1/8. And I'll show you what that looks like. So this little piece behind it is going to, see? Oh, but I got to get that little piece from sticking out. See, that's going to be hiding behind there. So you want this to be an 1/8 of an inch smaller. And I already see that this part's going to stick out. This is why you make your pieces a little smaller. So if they stick out, you got to cut them off. You know, you don't want any pieces sticking out the sides. I'm going to trim that off. I'd probably be better off trimming it off with my tiny paper snips, but hopefully I don't cut into my designer series paper here. I'm going to see if I did, if I made it wonky. All right, good. I kept it straight. All right, now we need to take this piece, and we're going to be doing our stamping onto it, but this part's going to hide back there. So now we're going to put it there. And what I like to do is like this. I like to go, so I have a little piece of tape on here. I'm going to put that under there. This is my little trick that I had to use to get my little kitty to get on there. You know, because I want all my stamps to fall under the window. All right, so let's see. That's going to hide the paper. Okay, so the question is, would you like, the first vote is kitty or flowers? Okay, do we want flowers or kitty or flowers? So you can write, or just write cat or flowers, or kitty. You can write kitty or flower. So in other words, what are we putting inside the window? Or inside the door? The little bouquet of flowers? Or do you want the little kitty? We'll do best out of 3 again. We'll just do, see? Kitty, hit up, and I could do kitty for New Year's cards too if we don't do it now. All right, so we have kitty, 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 kitty. 4 votes for kitty. All right, forget the flowers. See, you guys are like me. We are tired of flowers. All right, so we're going to do kitty. Kitty already has a little stamping block she's mounted on. Just get a little sticky note to make sure you got the kitty. So just go like that and, you know, test it. Okay, kitty's in the door waiting. Okay, good. So that was the first vote, and now we're gonna color the kitty with the Stampin' blends. So now do we want this? Do we want the long message? We're gonna just say open house. If you want open house, open heart, open mind, the long message, or do you want some hello, I miss you? So do you want open house? Just put open house or hello. And hello, and then miss you. See how miss you's in there with the hello? So we have open house, open heart, open mind, or hello, I miss you inside the card. And I guess we'll find both of those. All right, everybody's voting for hello. Perfecto. So we have to find those and put those on there. I like how every card is different, and you guys help me figure out what to do next because it's really fun that way. So we have welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay. We're just looking for the hellos. That says welcome. I'm just looking around for it right now. Gotta find it. Here we go. So what I did is that for the hello, I like to use this one here, Starry Sky. We're going to go like this, and we're going to tap, tap, tap. Okay, and get a good stamped image, and then we're going to say hello. Okay, and then for I miss you, we can use maybe we'll use sweet sorbet just to break it up a little. Okay, I miss you. I miss you. I think it's this one right here. Or it doesn't say I miss you. It just says miss you. We need a little tiny, tiny, cute little stamping block for miss you. And we need our sweet sorbet. This is another color that coordinates with the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. So we're going to do a little tap, tap, tap. Miss you. Miss you. Okay, now the reason I didn't color the kitty before I did the sentiments is if I messed up the sentiments, I would have flipped it over and done a different kitty. You don't want to do your coloring with your Stampin' Blends until the end, because you want to make sure everything's okay before you color with your Stampin' Blends. So we will do crumb cake, dark crumb cake on the outside of the little kitty, and then light crumb cake on the inside. I love all the little extra tiny little graphics you have in this set. You know, between the flowers and the kitty and the little hands drinking coffee. So you can make the tiniest cute little tags with these things. Maybe we could do a New Year's card and even like a wine tag. So that's what I did. Dark on the outside, and then we'll do light crumb cake for the inside of the kitty. Little circular motions to kind of blend those two colors together. All right, so now we are going to put our foam on here. So you want to take your foam strips that you have in your kit. These things, they're really awesome. They are called foam adhesive strips. And what you want to do is you just want to cut them down a bit, you know, so that they go along the sides of your little window here. So you don't want to put them, you're going to end up putting them, like pop them up, but you really want to cover your little window so that your little confetti doesn't fall out, right? Your little sequins that we use don't fall out. So you're just making yourself a little rectangle. This is an easy one, an easy shaker card, because I was like, oh, wow, we have a rectangle. How easy is that? We've made shaker cards in this series or in this YouTube channel with many strange shapes, as you know. But these will bend. I was going to show you that in a minute. I'm just eyeballing it to see how size to put them. Let's put that. Let's go like that. All right, so that's the important part, right? That's the important part. It's sealed, right? Now, what you could do with these, let me just get this off before I think of what I'm thinking about. Oh, he's hidden back there. He's okay. Now, what you could do with these, say you have like a circle. You're trying to make a circle shaker card. You can bend these. You can go like this and sort of bend them around the edges and do whatever you want. So that's what's really nice about these foam adhesive strips. You can make all kinds of shapes for your shaker cards, just to hold your confetti in there. But I'm just taking these extra pieces and I'm just kind of popping them up so we don't want wonky cards. No wonky cards. So we're taking these extra pieces here and we're just kind of going around and making sure the cards don't droop on the edges. And that's it. We peel this all off, get this all ready. I think I can use a piece right there. Yeah, let's do. I got some crazy sun going on here with it's like cold, but then the sun is shining. Isn't that funny? The sun's shining in my window, making it look like I'm in the tropics. Oops, I totally put that in the wrong place, but we're going to make we'll put another one over on the side. Where I wanted one was over on that side right there. But I guess it didn't hurt to have one on that side too. So you peel them all off and then you kind of test. You just test, is that peeled off? Because sometimes they don't look like it. Just test it with your finger. Like here. That one wasn't pulled off. Especially these, you want these to be sticky. All right, so we'll put one right there. All right, so peel that off. So now we're going to take and put the sequins in there. You can leave your metal thing there for a minute. We're going to get the metal thing off. Now, dryer sheet, I recommend dryer sheets because like you got a lot of static cling. See how I keep dryer sheets in my bag? This is just another one of my trick. If not, I kept getting these sticking all over my hands and all over the window. So I put a little dryer sheet in my bag with the sequins. Your sequins might look different than this. I'm using some retired ones. In the next kit, you're also getting retired sequins because they were on clearance. And it really doesn't matter what kind of sequins, what kind of crafty goodness you put in your shaker cards. But some of you might have the white ones. These are called sequins for everything, and some of you might have what's called for everything sequins. But it doesn't matter which kinds of sequins you have. Just that you're putting them in that little square area. All right, so let's lift this off. Push them in a little bit. You know, get them in there. They're going to stick to your little window. And now you're going to take this. And when I say they're going to stick to your window, I mean this is going to have a little bit of static cling on it where they stick to the plastic. So let's go ahead and put this down. Any little fuzz balls. And all we're doing is trying to cover up the white part. I mean, meaning to make sure we're in the right spot, you're covering up the white part. That's why I said to cut it 1/8 of an inch smaller. And da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. See that 1/8 of an inch smaller? And don't worry that the blends bleed through. So that is how to do it. Okay, so we're going to make something for the outside maybe, possibly, or just to mount that. We'll just do the card and we'll give you the measurements. Yeah, if you need to bend the foam strips, it's easier. Right. Then it bends your shape easier too. We're talking about, oh wow, lots of you guys have come in since we started voting. I need to go back and say hello. So many gems, sequins, and shakers. That's what Kathy's saying. She has so many. It looks three-dimensional. We're going to do the bottom of the card now, so let's pick. We'll let you vote on the color of the bottom of the card. Something from here. We're going to have to use something from my coordinated colors. So we have fresh freesia. Okay. We have, that's not sweet sorbet. See what it says. We could do shaded spruce. Okay. So put FF. Here's our two color choices. FF or SS. So F as in Frank and S as in Sam. So, or you could just say 1 or 2. So those are the color choices for the bottom of the card. We'll make the bottom of the card. Anyway, let me keep saying hi while you guys are voting. We said Ron. We said, all right, lots of you got Francis. Hello. We need to just do, what's it called? Choose your own adventure here more often because this is really fun that you guys are voting. Oh, well, yeah, owl set, yes. Yes, the owl set. Frenchie got the owl set, giving it to her to convention. I didn't think I got mine from there, Frenchie, but I did get my celebration owl set. And I've been doing stuff with it, so I could show you that at the end of this. Terry P, hello, Tina, hello, Yvonne. Kathy Dawn, Melody's voting. Mary, Marcia's voting. All right, Donna, Betty. Okay, let's see what we have for this one. I'm scrolling up. My camera's shaking. Hello, Luis and Sandy from Vegas. Linda, in Western New York. Yvonne, thank you. Congratulate me on my she shed. I hope you guys are. So we got the votes for fresh free, 2 votes for fresh freesia. Then we have 2 votes for shaded spruce. And then we got another fresh freesia. And another fresh freesia. So I guess the tiebreaker would be fresh freesia because that's the votes. Because there's like 4 votes for fresh freesia. And only 2 for shaded spruce. All right, so you're going to take your card and you're going to do this. You're going to take your 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock with fresh freesia and you're going to turn it in landscape mode like this so that it's 11 inches across and you're going to score at the 5.5 mark. Like so. This is how you make 2 cards at once. Now you're going to take your trimmer. And you could have scored with your trimmer in the first place, but we're just going to take our trimmer and we're going to turn and we're going to open this up and we're going to cut at 4 1/4. Okay. And now you have 2 cards from 1 piece of cardstock. Now you're going to take your spatula, which I should have, like some kind of little, I think I should have a little spatula. I'll write the measurements down on this for you in a moment, you know, for all the cardstock and stuff. So what we want is like a little kind of way to burn here. just going to use one of these bone folders. So you're going to flip the card around and you're going to do this. And you're going to just kind of burnish the edges like so. I'm going to do that again here. I like cards that go in vertical orientation. I'm working on a paper share. So it's like the ends are a little frayed. I need to like definitely get better blades for those. All right, so then that's going to look good on this, I think. Really good. Good choice, guys. See that? It's going to look really nice on there. And that is how you do it. So we had that 1/4 inch margin, as you can see. And that 1/4 inch margin makes a difference. So you can see the fresh freesia. I mean, if you could see your border. You can use glue for this part. But I like to use the rolling adhesive called Seal Plus. Double check that your card is in the right orientation. And then you're going to put a piece in the inside of the white that's just, you know, for your inside sentiment. And that is how you do it. And we can add some more bling to the outside and some more stuff. Like this little piece needs a little, you can add like, what I do is if there's little parts coming up, you can either add little pieces in here. Like you can just add little pieces like that to stick them in there. Or you can get the mini dimensionals. Just that the mini dimensionals are not quite there. That's better. It's not curling up in the end. The mini dimensionals aren't quite as like tall as the foam adhesive strips, which are taller. Let me get this and let me add a little bit of, we need some bling. I'll show you the other again. I'm going to also show you, so stick around, all the things we've been making in this series so far. You're going to get to see all the projects we've made with the Warm Welcome Bundle. Looking for my package of bling. I've been cutting it up, using it on kits. Let's take some of these. These are called iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. I like to add 3 of those. Oops, where'd it go? I know I should be using my take your pick tool. All right, just add a few of those on there for some bling. You can add some hearts, etc. And then this is what I was saying, like keep stuff in your bucket of crafty goodness because you can take these little guys out. These are dies that come in this set. And you can do stuff like if it's hooray or yay, it's your day. And you can just do extra little things. The reason I put ink on these, I did this one in pool parties because there's sometimes, you know, it's better contrast. So you can put like, yay, it's your day or whatever. So you can put like, we can put a 2023 on here, 2023. So keep your little extra parts. All right, now, and we're writing down the measurements and then we're going to get rid of those and this because I don't want to ink on all the other stuff. You grab this little sticky note here. I'm going to write down this for you so you understand how to make this card. I'm going to use my new pens, Christmas present from my team member, Janet. Pretty cool, right? Kimberly Smith, the paper chef. Love it. All right, so the card. I always like to draw for you so you can see like the width and the height and where to score and all that stuff. This will be one card, obviously. We did 2 at once. So it was 11 inches. And it was by 4 1/4. And then we scored at 5 1/2. Okay, so that was the card. And then we had card stock. And then we had the DSP. So for the cardstock underneath the DSP, we're going to say that was only like a 5 1/8, whereas the DSP was 5 1/4. Hope that's making sense. We made this like one little bit smaller, and then whereas this one was, we always go by 4 for that. But when we made that little piece of cardstock behind it, it's the one, and I'm talking about cardstock with the door on it. We wanted to make that one just 1/8 smaller, so we're going to say 3 7/8. Okay, and then of course your window, you need to make the little window just a little bit slightly bigger than you need it. Okay, so what I'm saying here is that this card base ended up being, when you look at this piece here, it ended up being 5 1/4 by 4, or 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, sorry, right? The card itself, it was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Here, we'll draw it like that. It was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So then this one was a 1/4 inch smaller, and then this one was an 1/8 inch smaller than that. And when I say this, I'm talking about the cardstock is this where the little door was behind it. So that is how to make the shaker card. Super simple. Now let's grab the projects. Thank you, Donna. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. All right, so this one, I was going to use the door from, this is the same size as the door, by the way. I thought I was using the door, but I have so many dies laying on my table. I ended up using a die from what's called the Stylish Shapes die. So if you have that die, it's pretty cool. You make a stitching on the inside. But if not, if this is all you have, because this is the bundle you purchased from Stampin' Up, then just use your little door here and just make a shaker card with any paper. So you don't need to have the door just because there's a door in the Warm Welcome bundle. You can make a shaker card out of anything. So here's just using the citrus paper. So what I did for that is I used the little pencils, when I say pencils, I'm talking about like the little colored pencils, because crushed Kerry there's no marker for crushed Kerry. We don't have one. So I use what's called the watercolor pencils. See if I can't show you. Yeah, here we go. So this is a watercolor pencil. So I colored the arm with the watercolor pencil, and I didn't have any of the markers right now with me for any of these in colors. So I used the blender pen to color all this in with the blender pen. So that's how I did it. And I wrote, hello, I miss you. And that's it. You just put a window in anything and you have a cute shaker card. So that's how I did it. That was Parakeet Party and Crushed Curry. And this was Fresh Freesia, Sweet Sorbet, and what was the other one? The one we used earlier. Orchid. Here. No, not Starry Sky. I think it was like Orchid Oasis. Okay, let me move this so I don't get any ink on stuff. Put that over there. Show you what we got going on in the bucket of crafty goodness here. So this is what we made today in part 4. And in part 3, I showed you how to make some 3D items using this Warm Welcome bundle. And the 3D items we made were, I showed you how to make the boxes and how to make these 3D, what's called box in a bag. Bag in a box. No, wait, box in a bag, sorry. So I showed you we can make them for birthdays. And this is what I was talking about. We can make a great New Year's card with this fireworks. So this week, I'm going to be doing it probably right before New Year's, because right after New Year's, I'm starting. After New Year's, and I have so much going on with celebration, I will definitely be starting like on the next series called By the Bay. So we did 3 3D projects last time. In part 3, we did the boxes, and I showed you how to make the boxes, and you used a black cardstock for the bottom, and then you made your lids fit over them. And then I showed you how to do these matchbook treat holders that are, again, for birthdays or whatever you want to make them for. You put little tea in here or Ghirardelli chocolates. So these were the matchbooks. Put the year of someone's birthday in there. Then I showed you how to make what's called the box in the bag. See, there's a little box in the bag. And we used the new paper, the new Designer Series paper that I gave you as part of your kit. Here's a couple of the bags. And I told you that you could use the Dandy Designs to wrap your little Hershey Nuggets in and put them in your bag. And we made a couple of little birthday bags with the box in the bag idea. And we used Designer Series paper. So if you missed part 3, that's what was all done in part 3. Lots of stuff done in part 3. This one here is Celebrate Everything paper, and this is the Dandy Designs paper. Then in part 2, we made lots of birthday cards. And I made customized birthday cards. I showed you. Well, I made ones for that I actually have birthdays coming up. Because during these series, I don't just make things for the fun of it. I always make things that I'm actually going to use in one way, shape, or form, whether it's thank yous to customers, or whether I'm making swaps, or whether I'm showing you how to make cards that I'm making. So my sister is going to be 68, and so I made this card for her. Her birthday's coming up in March, so I have plenty of time to, do it after the series is over, give it to her. And so I did a 68 card. So what's great about this is you can personalize your cards using the numbers that are part of the dies that are part of this bundle. So I just love that little number die. It's fantastic. It just gives you a little way to customize. Then with you, we made this one together. We did a pool party door, and we made this together. I showed you how to color the little present, and I made a card for my mom's 91st birthday, which is coming up this spring. So it's my mom's 91st birthday. And then I made one for my niece's 8th birthday. And I told you I'm going to put lots of 8s on here. I'm not done yet, but as I cut out more numbers, as I'm showing you things, like as I'm cutting my 2023, I won't need all the extra 8s I cut out for the next part of the series, so I can put extra 8s all over this card. So it's going to be my niece's birthday present. And I used Whimsy and Wonder paper, which you all got in your kit. Even though it's retired, I gave it all to you in your kit. And I used some Celebrate Everything paper. So that's fun, and it all coordinated. And that was part 2, birthday cards. And part 1 of this series, we showed you how to make these Let's Spend Time Together cards with the little twine on them. And we used the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. The piece that I almost voted, you guys almost voted on today again. I really love that piece. I think it looks really good behind the doors too. What do you think? I like having the doors like this better. I like having the hole with this paper showing. I think I might make the rest of my cards like this, even without the shaker part. I really like the door hidden with the shape behind the paper like that, rather than just on the white paper. So I think I'm going to be starting to make the rest of the doors like that. Anywho, we made this one with Tea Boutique and Tea Boutique, those two cards. And then we made this one with that Dandy Designs again, that new paper. And we coordinated each card. This is Pool Party and Fresh Freesia. And then I showed you some things. That was all we did in the series so far. And then these ones I made during World Card Making Day with the same bundle. And I embossed this with the Timber 3D embossing folder. And I made these little note cards. And this is what we made like in this Stampin' Ups event they had called World Card Making Day back in October. So that's what we've made so far in this series. I'm keeping them all in my little buckets here. I think this one I have to finish here. Hope you're enjoying this series so far. And I hope you will, if you would like to, get involved in the next series. And if you'd like to request a catalog, I'll just say how to do that right now as I'm signing off. So let me just grab something. All right. The next series is going to be based on this one. This is called Seaside Bay. It's going to be available in our next catalog. It's a beautiful cling stamp set, and there's little pearls, and there's going to be beautiful ribbon in your kit. Specialty Designer Series paper that has gold foiling. And you don't get stamps in your kit. You get that separately. But I'll probably be using sentiments, we won't just do sympathy, thank you, and you are a pearl cards. We'll probably make some other kinds of cards with some other sentiments because there's only 3 sentiments here, but we can do a lot with these designs. So anyway, we're going to be using this for our next bundle. So if you'd like a catalog where you can find this, which will be available January 5th, and you'd like a celebration brochure, please use my link, paperchef.stampinup.net. The link is in the description of this video right beneath. Pop open the description, go there, and there's a place that says sign up for my newsletter. And when you do that, you can put a comment, and your comment could be, I would like a catalog. But of course, only if you're in the US, I can send you a catalog. So that's what I'm doing right now. I don't ask you that all the time because I don't like to open the floodgates. It's very expensive mailing, but I do it a couple times a year, and this is one of the times when I'm sending out catalogs. So I will open the floodgates right now because celebration's coming up I keep saying July. You guys, I hope you know what I mean. January 5th, 2023. So we will have another workshop series. We're going to have celebration where you get one free thing for each $50 you spend. So definitely get this bundle when that starts, because if you get this bundle, you get a free celebration item. It's going to be fabulous in January. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a very happy holiday season.